Hi, Thoughtful Things readers and viewers. I am Monique, and today is Friday at Thoughtful Things, and that means it's For You Friday. We love Friday because it's all about what you are doing for you. Each and every day of the week, we are doing something and participating in some way in our communities, with our children, our lovers, our friends, but Friday is all about how we are participating with ourselves. And so I am going to be doing Oprah's Lifeclass and really creating a conversation here at Thoughtful Things about how we can take care of ourselves emotionally, spiritually, physically, based upon the lessons that Oprah is sharing from the 25 years of her show. And so I get to watch every night and see and learn what I can apply to my own life. And the show was so instrumental in my life in the 25 years that it aired, and so I am really loving this life class. But this past Wednesday, she had a show titled When You Know Better, You Do Better, based upon something that Maya Angelou told her when she was in her 30s. She was sharing an experience that she had in her 20s, and Maya Angelou said, well, now that you're in your 30s, when you know better, you do better. You won't make those same mistakes from your 20s again. And thank God, that is so the truth for me. There have been so many mistakes that I have made that I just have learned, and some of those lessons have been hard, and a lot of them around relationships with men and relationships, my relationship with myself and how I treat myself. But the one lesson that was a doozy for me, and I still think about it today, was an experience I had with my grandfather, who was my mother's father, and I didn't see him a lot growing up, but he was very present in my life. My grandmother raised me, my father's mother raised me, and my grandfather was very present, and he sent money, and he did his best to help my grandmother raise me, and he was very available to meet my needs when I was a young girl, and up through even high school and into college. But he had a wife who was much younger than him, like his fourth wife, and she got cancer when I was in my 20s and started to slowly deteriorate and die. And she wasn't very beloved in our family. Like his daughters, my aunties, didn't really like her for various reasons, but they thought that she was a gold digger. They had a lot of opinions about her that I sort of took on as well, but not because I had had that experience with her. I just was influenced by my family. But when she started to die, I went to visit her in the time of her slow death. But at the funeral, or when the funeral came, I had already had plans to go spend a weekend in the Bay Area with a man that I was dating at the time. And when my grandfather's wife died, I didn't go. I didn't attend the funeral because I already had plans. And there was something in me that sort of felt like I didn't have to, because we didn't really like her anyway. I also have been very independent all of my life. I was raised very independent because my parents didn't raise me. My grandmother was working a lot and sort of left me to my own resources. So I always relied on my own thinking and my own judgment, and sometimes that has worked for me, but then there have been times when that hasn't worked for me, when I have been extraordinarily selfish and self-serving. And this occasion was a time when I was extraordinarily self-serving and didn't think of anyone but myself. I was selfish. And in the season of my grandfather losing his wife, I did not think of him or my family. I thought only of myself and went to spend the weekend with a boyfriend. Now, as a result, my grandfather was very angry. He never said anything to me directly, but he told his daughter, who I was very close to, and she told me. But at the time of his death, he cut me out of his will, which was, financially a big deal. But really what that meant was that because he was so generous all my life, is that he was pissed with me. And for a long time even, I was very arrogant about it. Like, oh, I did what I wanted to do, and I was myself, and I didn't have to, be beholden to him. But now that I have my own child and I understand the value of my family, I really realize that I made a grave mistake, a grave error in not participating and being present with my grandfather during his time of grief and sorrow and the time of his wife's death. And today, it breaks my heart, and I know that I learned an incredible lesson. And it's one of those, when you know better, you do better. And what I've learned now, because I have a child, and I often need to call on my family to help me, often, and guess what? They always come and help me. Not one time has anyone said, oh, I'm going out of town to visit my boyfriend for the weekend, I can't help you. They always show up. And they are teaching me a lesson in community, family, and how we just need to show up for one another, especially in times of great sorrow and times of great need. And so that is my when you know better, you do better lesson. And I hope that you would share your when you know better, do better lessons here for our, today is For You Friday at Thoughtful Things, and we just are interested in creating a dialogue, especially for me on Fridays, about what we're doing for ourselves to grow, to transform, and to make our lives better. Thank you. See you again soon. Bye-bye.